Is it focus? Is it okay? Don't give me up, cause I'm on fire. And I can't quench my desire. Yes, you're not ready for this jelly. You're not ready for this jelly. You know why? Cause my body is too bootylicious for you, baby.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
Hey, what's up? Boom. Yeah, so today is another astrology video. Yeah, we didn't take that much of a long time until we got back to the Ritz. And today I'm going to talk about the basics of astrology. Because my dumbass have been talking for way too damn long about zodiac shit and astrology shit. And people are like,
what the fuck is first house, second apartment on the third floor in motherfucking Aries mean?
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. I'm the dumbass to not give you the introduction. So today we're having Astrology 101.
When I wake up in the morning and the alarm gets out of warning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time.
And because I'm in support of education, we're gonna have a online study session about astrology. So if you want more astrology shit, subscribe to my channel, like, please. Your bitch is here dying. I'm really trying. Am I being desperate? Yeah, just fucking like subscribe, watch my videos, like if you like the video. If you don't like it, tell me why you don't like it. Why am I doing an outro and an intro? Okay, you know, I clearly talk a lot, so ear rape, warning. 1, 2, 3. Action. So, first things first, I'm the realist. And the second thing is that there's a huge difference between zodiac and astrology. What do I mean by that? Zodiac is all about the horoscope and knowing your basic sign and just that. It doesn't really tell you more about you, and it doesn't really dive into astrological aspects, your personality, more things relating to thought process, maybe way of life, how you communicate, what do you attract, and what do you release. I don't know, I'm wearing a fucking hoodie and it's hot, so bear with me, okay? So I'm gonna tell you first about the birth chart. First things first. So the birth chart, what do you do is that through your place, time, and date of birth, they can find out planet placements in the galaxy and in under which sign they were and how do they relate to you personally. So there is sun sign, moon sign, Mercury sign, Venus sign, and Mars sign. The other outer planets are more of a generational sign. So it's not very exclusive to you. In the sense, it's very much probably people were born same week, same month, same 6 months, same year, maybe even the same fucking generation. So for instance, almost every Gen Z has Aquarius and Sagittarius in their generational planetary, while millennials have Scorpios and Sagittarius. And the new generation Alpha has Capricorn, and I don't know what. They have Capricorn, and I think maybe Pisces, I'm not sure. But that's what they have. So what is the sun sign? The sun sign is your sign. The sign of the month, the sign of the season, the sign of you. It means your ego, your personality, who you are on a cliche level. Like just you. When I meet you, who you are for people who just met you. For regular friends, for acquaintances, and all of that. How are you being is through your sun sign. Your sun sign is you, basically. It's your shell. How do you dictate the way you want to go through things? Like, what are you going to focus on, basically, and the way you focus is all relating to the sun. And that's your basic sign. And in contrast, we have the moon sign. The moon sign represents your deeper feelings, your unconscious self, your feelings, your insecurities, deep issues, and most likely to be your stereotypes and how do you act when felt weak and unstable. Usually, your moon sign, you are more likely to be very emotional during the time that your moon sign season is. So for instance, I am a Taurus sun and a Capricorn moon, which means during Capricorn season, which is the end of December until the middle of January, I am very, very emotional, but emotionality is different from one sign to the other. For a Capricorn moon, that emotional season is more likely to make you be more open and vulnerable and allowing that to happen, because in contrast, I don't allow it to happen. So during that season, it is heightened and it's manifested more greatly, and you feel the need to express yourself. Or for others, it's actually the opposite. But yeah, that's your moon sign. Then we have your Mercury. Your Mercury represents your subconscious self, your inner thoughts, ways of communication, articulation, and most importantly, your thought process. It dictates how do you interact with someone else. For instance, I'm an Aries Mercury, so I don't have an issue speaking publicly, but I do have an issue of being loud, maybe overly aggressive in my delivery, very up in someone's face. My thought process is very much go, go, go. So I am decisive and I do take decisions on a whim. I can make decisions very quickly. I don't like to be told how to process my emotions or my thoughts or myself. I like to do them my own way, at my own time, at my own pace. That's Aries Mercury. But it differs from every Mercury to the other. And then we have Venus. Venus, the planet of love, the planet of beauty, interest, materials, want. It's what you want to receive. I have my Venus in Gemini, so I love to do something like this. Very childlike, very fun, loving, very youthful. Almost everyone that knows me would say that I am weird, but that only comes because my weirdness comes from the fact that I look at the world in a very positive way. Yeah, and I'm very curious. That comes from my Gemini Venus. I am very curious. I'm always want to know what is the reason behind this, how this happened, this and that, connecting the dots. I love to have fun. I love to do things that give me joy. Also, in Gemini Venus, in love, I am more of the type that I want to be friends with you, then we can date, rather than date first. And I would more likely to take things slowly than other people. I would probably have much more problems opening up. I would have a problem separating a relationship from professional and personal. So when I'm friends with someone, I'm friend with you almost everywhere, not just at school or just at work. Like, I'm taking you around. So that's how Venus is. It represents your way of love and how do you want to receive that love. Extra note that your Mercury and Venus does not go very far from your sun sign. So say, because I'm a Taurus, the farthest at each end that I can go to is Leo on this side and Aquarius on this end. So I can only have Mercury in Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and Leo.
Hey, this is editing me. I just wanted to make it more simple for y'all because I was afraid that it may get too complicated. Me at first did not understand how could that even happen. I didn't think it was true, but no, it's true. As you can see in the picture, sorry for the bad drawing, in this birth chart, with Taurus, you can only go 3 signs left and 3 signs right, which ends at the sign just before another earth sign. So an earth sign can only have 2 water, or 2 air, or 2 fire. That could possibly be a Mercury sign or a Venus sign, and the only other earth sign they can be is themselves. Same thing applies for fire signs, where they only can have other 2 air signs, 2 water signs, and 2 earth signs, and they are the only fire sign they can be. Say you're a Libra, for instance, yours would end at Capricorn at one point and end at the other at Cancer. So 3 signs right, 3 signs to the left. Yeah, I hope this is simple, because me myself felt it was complicated at first, but yeah, anyway, back to the video.
I'm sick of you. But don't smash it. Stick it for you. Don't smash it. Fucking hell. Come here, she won. Stupid little. She won. Oh, you have to use it.
That's that on that. Well, then we have Mars. Your Mars is how do you react. Venus is what do you want from the world and how do you treat it. Venus is how do you react to the world. In Mars, it represents how do you attack. How are you defending yourself? How are you when you're angry? How are you when being threatened, when you're insecure? How do you deal with things? I have a Scorpio Mars, and that means I am very vindictive, which is kind of true considering the last story that I said I almost killed my bully is like a living proof that, yeah, I guess I am vindictive. But that's your Mars. And that's basically the main astrological planetary placement. Now we're gonna go to the houses ascendant and descendant, aka rising and descendant. I don't know what's against of rising, setting, I don't know. And the houses. When you're born, there is a sun that's considered the rising. I'm not an astrology I'm not an astrology guru. That's a disclaimer that I put in the description. So I don't know what dictates what like astrologically how do you get a rising. However, a rising is the first sign in house planets. If you ever do a birth chart count, you will have that. And they go from first house all the way to the 12th house. And each house represents the original sign from Aries to Pisces. And each of them have a different representation effect regarding which sign is there and which planet is under that house. Your first house is your rising. How? Think about it this way. Your ascendant to all the way to the 12th house is basically, imagine it's your actual house or an actual hallway. The more you delve in, the deeper that a person going layer by layer into your personality. So the first house is the very much exterior, the outside. Who are you? How do you come off? How do you act like at first when someone meets you? What do you want them to know about you? As an Aquarius rising, I come off very cold, weird, and quite frankly, odd. Yeah. Aquarius rising along with Scorpio rising are the most attractive. When I say attractive, I don't mean like hot and sexy and seductive attractive. Look, I'm talking that their energies are very strong, that they are attracting you to basically look at them, like they're like taking your attention, they're dragging your eyes towards them. And usually Aquarius rising always has something about them that makes them look different. For instance, for me, my voice and my body and my appearance and the way I dress are all things that makes people, when they look at me from afar and they're like,
That's him. That's him.
Call the police. We need to call the police.
That's your rising. Your rising represents how do you act, how do you react. And if any planet goes under the first house, that means you are gonna be more prideful and egoistic in a way about that said thing. People are more likely to gatekeep something if their Venus is in the first house, and they are more likely to be me when their Venus or Mars is in their first house. So you see how it works. The more a planet is behind in the houses, the more selfless it is. The more selfless and abstract. The more it's in the first house, the more stable and superficial it is. Yeah, so we have the first house that represents the self and the ego. The second house that represents the material, the possessions, the wealth, and the family. Then you have your third house that represents communication, a style of talking, and humor. Fourth house represents family lifestyle, the mother, and aspirations to marriage and family and home. Like it's the home, but in a more of a sentimental way, unlike the second house, which is the home in a more of a materialistic way. Then we have the fifth house. The fifth house represents creativity, art, fame, social status, and extrovertism. It all affected by the fifth house. Then we have the sixth house. Sixth house represents your physical appearance, your style of clothing, your style of fashion, your aesthetic. What are you drawn into? The seventh house represents friends, people that you might attract as dates, your taste in physical appearance of another person. What are the physical and materialistic attributes and traits that someone has that are attractive to you? Then we have the eighth house. The eighth house represents sex and illness, and all that is very much between the line of fear and thrill. Sex is between fear and thrill, so is illness, and so comes like danger and crime and all that. Also, it attributes to how do you deal with mysteries and how do you solve problems. Ninth house represents travel, represents philosophy, represents religion and the father. And most likely sign to be your friend is found like the house, the sign in that house is most likely to be the sun sign or the moon sign of your friend. Then we have the 10th house that represents your career, your ethic, your practicality, your discipline, how strict are you. Then we have the 11th house. The 11th house represents your freedom, individualistic tendencies, rebellion, what makes you different, how do you fight for yourself, how do you fight for your causes. It's very much about how to establish oneself in the world and how to defend yourself against others. And finally, we have the 12th house. The 12th house represents the death, the mystery, the legacy, and what do you daydream about? What do you want people to remember you as? All are in the 12th house. There are other things, but I don't think they are very much relevant to this video. I just want to do this very shortsy, cutesy type of video since I always have long ass videos. Not good, not good. So yeah, I just wanted to put this video on for anyone who wants to know basic stuff about astrology. I might do more videos so I can learn, then tell you, so that the information solidifies in me. Please subscribe, please like, please, and share this video with anyone of your friends that you may want to know more about astrology and is being a little bitch. Just like that motherfucker. At that, which sign is the funniest, and because Capricorn Mercury was at last, he came talking about he is more funnier than me, and I found out that trick means a hoe. He called me a hoe, but in like old-fashioned way. Damn, I wish I was a hoe. Ain't no man up in here. Ain't nobody up in here. My bed is empty. Bitch. So anyways, again, please like, subscribe, and the more you engage with my videos, the crazier shit that I'll do. I want to do a mukbang sahur magic video. Magic, if you get the joke, you get the joke. But if you don't, sorry about it. And if you want more astrology videos, tell me. I'm gonna do a video all about Taurus and a video all about moon signs, as well as other fun videos that I have in mind that I'm still working on to see if they're gonna work out or not. Love you. Comma, Vogue. Okay, that's it.